Welcome to Tales of Hope, where every paw print counts. Animal tie in the house, spreading love, hear the sounds. Every week animal stories, rights and welfare in the mix. Step up, take action, we're giving animals a fix. Tales of Hope, raise your voice, make some noise. Change the game for every animal, girl and boy. One world, one fight, let's turn the page. A future for the voiceless, bring hope to center stage.
Do you believe cruelty comes more from ignorance or deliberate neglect? And how does that influence your approach?
I feel cruelty does come from ignorance and neglect both. And that is where humane education comes in. And I feel we have to, in our syllabus for schools, we have to have this humane education is very. So humane education, not just towards animals and environment, but towards the elders in your society, which is now also depleting. So if it comes from home, they say, na, family sanskar ghar mein. It all starts at home and in schools. So children, if at a young age, and that's how we at Help and Suffering started humane education a year back in Jaipur. We've only done about 40 to 50,000 students now, but we hope to take it further, and it's going very well. And I feel everything goes side by side. Once you sensitize the children sensitize their parents, the ones who are not. So, everyone grows up with that myth that don't touch, or if the dog's got mange, they don't know what is the difference between mange and rabies. So they just take it for granted that any dog which is looking sick, he's got rabies. Yes, and we are going through rabies testing now with WVS, the UK organization. They've started, eradication of rabies campaign. They've done 70% of the dogs in Thane, Bombay. They've done Goa already 70%. And now with our team Help and Suffering and WVS, we've started about 2 weeks or 3 weeks back in Jaipur. So, but the only idea is that how do we get across to our people and tell them that this is what we've done and this is what we're doing. So I'm trying to get an appointment, hopefully next week, to tell them that we are there to help you out. And we have been doing it for Sister for more than 33 years. And lots of people from Delhi, like even Mrs. Menaka Gandhi and other people, when they want, our teams go to Jammu, our team has gone to Chandigarh, our team has gone to Nepal, our team has gone to, other neighboring smaller countries to help them, train them about animal birth control and how is dog catching done in a humane manner. And that is it. So this is the future, and we have to work together with the governments, because no private organization or NGOs can do it in isolation without the support of our respectable governments.
Absolutely. You just said rightly. And there's a very important thing that you said. Catching dogs for ABC, you need to do it in a humane way. And just about a week back, I was interviewing one of the guests from Malaysia, and the way they do it is so humane. I was so impressed. Because in India, we've seen you take this rod and a net, and you're trying to do so much of crazy stuff when you want to catch, the indies or the streeties, I call them. And what I saw, I'll send you the videos of this, for you all to see if you all can implement it, because it is so humane way of, it's an organization which they call themselves Trap, Neuter, Release and Manage.
Oh, please do send it to me, because I always want to learn new stuff and, share it with our team.
Absolutely. I'll be more than happy to share everything. And if you want, I'll be happy to connect you to the founder, even Mr. Stuart Tan. Absolutely no issues. Because, there are things I believe we learn, because what I have been seeing all across is the way they try and even, catch them is so inhumane. And when it's just a matter of thinking and changing your thought process. And when I saw these guys, it's so humane. They don't do anything difficult. They just trap it in a sort of, they have this sort of structure where they the feeder takes the food, because they know the time when the dogs are going to come. And the way they trap it, it's so easy. And the structure is also like a foldable structure, not difficult. And once the dog is in there, that's it. You're not doing all those crazy stuff with those iron rods and everything. I'll send you.
Oh, so we do it with a sack, so our guys are very expert. So they do it with a sack.
Okay.
Without the rod, and then they put it but maybe this is sounding even more exciting, so you must let us know.
I will share it to you immediately the moment we are done with the podcast. I'll send it across to Natasha as well. Now, Jaipur is now virtually, there's been a lot of vaccination and sterilization programs that you guys have been running. What key decision or strategies made this massive public health? Up to a certain extent, from what I understand, you guys have been quite successful.
So because it has to be constant and consistent. It cannot be ad hoc. You can't do it so ours is all days of the week. Our team goes in certain very early hours of the morning, and they bring them back. And now we've got other smaller organizations who pick up the dogs and bring it, and we are happy to partner with other organizations. So we can put their names on there, or they put our names on the vans that they pick up. They must be getting their small amount of funding wherever they. And I feel it's good because it makes our work easier. Yeah, and we are doing it collectively because, again, it's for the city. So, if our goals are similar, we are not in competition with each other. And if we come together and maybe everything's a blessing, this whole drama which is taking place in Delhi, or we had this protest here, has brought so many organizations and individuals. We got 1,000 people in Jaipur, which has never happened in the past. So a lot of lovely people, a lot of young people, and I'm so overwhelmed because I feel now you've got a younger generation who will take our work forward. We are now, I will continue doing, but I want younger people to take over because they come with new ideas, new energies, and that is what it is. You have to make way for the younger people to take over and, continue this good work for the animals.
Absolutely. When you started the rabies program, was there skepticism or resistance? And how did you convince both the public and the authorities to support it?
So, of course, people were wondering why the dogs were being picked up. What are we going to do with the dogs? A lot of people feel why should we, reproduction is a natural thing to happen to humanity or animals. And why should we, neuter or spay them? But then they realized why it was being done, and gradually they all support. Now I get so many calls a day that, my neighbors are giving trouble, my bitch keeps going, on heat all the time. But, we do it in a very systematic manner. So taking each area, cleaning it out and the next and stuff. And it's very difficult to do it ad hoc, like today we are doing Malvian. No, it's not random. So we have to tell them you have to wait or you bring the dogs. But that's what is now good is that when two other organizations have come in to help us collect the dog, they've got the ambulance. So it's making our work simpler, and we doing ABC is very quick because our doctors have come so quick that between 5 and 7 minutes they've done, because they have a team of 7-8 people. One will pick up the dog, the other one is put anesthesia, the third one will shave the dog, and then the vets will neuter, then they're cleaning. So everything is like clockwork. Wow. We are plus, but we are not just doing ABC. We are doing rescues of larger and small animals. We're running an OPD clinic. We're doing orthopedics, which we introduced about 2 years ago. There was no orthopedics surgeons there are not many in the country. So we got a very good orthopedic cell. And now we're making another, because when you do the orthopedics, then you need to keep the animal, which doesn't not too much movement, and keep kept away from infection. The surgery can be successful, but if you don't have aftercare, so it's a challenge, but it's a teamwork. So we're improving each day, and we are redefining ourselves. So there have been challenges. There are sometimes that ambulances don't reach certain places in time and people start abusing you. But then I have to tell them that come spend half a day at the charity. Just spend time and see the challenges we face. So, don't kind of, wash out the work which our team has been doing for so long. But we are not perfect. People make mistakes with humans. So there are challenges. And we've got our own now. We've got our own X-ray and pathology lab.
Wow.
Diagnostic center.
An ICU.
Now we're making a little ICU. It's a small organization in 1.5 acre of land. But we've got a very dedicated team. Now we've got, finally, after so many years, we've got just hired about 10 days back the HR person, because they're always, what happens is when you've got so many people working, there'll always be little islands, so you need somebody to, we couldn't afford it earlier. So it's all happening gradually. So I think, nice. I'm happy that I've got a good team now put together, and
we're keeping our fingers. We're keeping our fingers crossed for that.
Yeah, let's hope lots more young people get inspired, and so we don't want to be like a banyan tree, that we don't want other organizations to grow. We want many organizations. So there are lots of people doing lovely work. Somebody's only keeping paralyzed dogs in the city. Some people are only doing with birds and snakes. We used to do all the animals. We do birds as well, but somebody who's good with. So we distribute work. We do help each other and if somebody. And it's nice. I'm happy that Jaipur is so well sensitized, but we could do more.
Absolutely. Keeping my fingers crossed. Now, for listeners in other cities, what are the first 3 steps to replicate what Jaipur's success has meant to you?
Basically, I feel one has to know, have a vision with a mission and be focused, be honest to what you're doing. You need to give you have to be committed. Your time is your bigot. You can put in as much money and machinery, hardware as you, but I think human resource is very important. If you don't have a good team, no amount of fancy gadgets can really put a thing. And you need, people with a good heart. And it can be anywhere. It can start off in a small shed. The intention has to be right, and everything falls into place. And I've experienced I didn't know anything about animal welfare, believe me, when I started. But I'm learning, even today I'm learning, every day I learn something new. So many new things you learn every day. The other day, I read on Instagram, I saw when this lady said that when elephants are transported in an airplane, they put a lot of chicks with it, chickens. So elephants are so sensitive that they will not move to disturb or hurt the chicken and the little animals. And that is why they stand still, so the airplane can be steady. I didn't know about this. So every day, though we work with elephants, every day is a learning. I think we know very, very little about nature. And you observe it, and we once rescued a hoopoo bird, and I remember it was a little hoopoo baby bird somewhere, our team. And then the mother bird, from wherever they rescued, the mother came all the way, she must have flown from somewhere far away, and she would come and feed the baby from outside. And I remember somebody said, "Oh, why is this bird come?" I said, "But must be the mother looking for a baby." So nature's crazy. We have macaques in a thing, and you'll have some others coming out. Sometimes they create quite a ruckus. Sometimes we release these eagles and these kites, and because they were getting food there, they after they've been released, they'll fly away and they'll come back for food to us. You release the monkeys and they don't want to get out of the. A lot of them run away into the wild, but some don't want to get out of the jeep because they get so attached to you. So we do not believe in hoarding them. We believe in releasing them, in them. And I think that's how it should be. And I think anyone, as long as your intention is right and your heart is in the right place, everything falls into place. The donation will come in, the animals will, and a good vet with the heart. The vets are very important. A lot of vets don't want to touch the animals also, because they feel that. So I feel that is very important to see that, because a lot of people, when they don't get into MBBS for humans, they become veterinary doctors. But you need a vet who wanted to be a vet as a veterinary doctor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
These are all small things, but they make a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Now, the Camel Rescue Center in Bassi is unique in India. What inspired its creation, and what kind of cruelty or suffering were camels facing before this?
So, my predecessor, Christine, who we lost a few days. So we started already working for camels. Our teams used to go to different areas. And I said, "Christine, why shouldn't we have our own camel hospital?" And she said, "Why not?" Christine was very good with writing stories and letters. So she managed to, from one of our donors in Switzerland, to get us money to buy the land. And then once we bought the land, when the donors' representatives came to Bassi, they thought, and we needed a camel rescue center because, we couldn't reach all the places all over. So people thought, since they were Western people, white-skinned people, the neighbors got greedy, the neighboring people. So they said, "No, this is our land." After we'd paid for everything. Anyway, to cut the long story short, we started 12 years ago or 13 years
ago. The Camel Rescue Center in 2011 in March. 2011 in March. So 14 years now. And it just, so now we just don't have just camels. We have 10, 11 dogs. We have a couple of pigs. We have equines. We have 2 billy goats, really fat. I rescued them. And we have equines. We have a couple of horses, and we've got that's it. I think dogs, yeah. And it's on good 7 bighas of land, so they left time to kind of roam around free. They're allowed to eat from the, we're not fussy. They can't eat, graze from the trees sometimes. But they are very, very happy. As rescued, I think was going to be taken on a slaughter on a bicycle, and that time it was COVID, so we were feeding people we were taking food for the people who were going back to Bihar and places like that. And I saw this motorcycle going with this huge pig, 2 men, and they skidded, and the pig fell with his tied over all his feet. And so I told him, "You better release it." And he kept saying, "I bought it." I said, "I don't care whether you bought it." So I asked our van to come, because I'd gone with my son to carry food. And then when this a man said, "No, he bites and this will happen," I said, "I don't care." I got some sharp thing from my driver, and finally we rescued him, and this guy took him back. Then I bought him back. I paid him some money. So he was asking for a huge amount. I said, "If you don't give it to me, I'll come with police. But I'm taking." And you won't believe, Anil, he just turned out being a lucky pig. I just wrote to one of my donors saying that, "See, when I came to your shelter in France, you also have pigs, and we've got a pig now, and what a fat fellow he is." And So she was so happy. She sent me $50,000 for.
Wow.
So these kind of miracle happens. I thought she sent me 5,000, and then Natasha told me, "No, ma'am, she sent you 50,000." I said, and I just written to her sharing a story. I didn't even think that it's gonna kind of touch her heart so much. So things just happen.
Absolutely. It is stories like this which I always say it's inspiring for people to listen, because a lot of our stories are not even spoken about. Things like this need to be brought to people, to audience, to listen, to understand and relate how humane people need to be.
Absolutely. So, there are tons of stories like this which kind of, they're really funny and stuff like, when I got married, I picked up a dog from the backyard of a hotel in Agra. And funny looking, but she was adorable, and we called her Frisky. And then my friends in Bombay had given me this little Russian Samoyed pup as a wedding gift. So 1 year later, this Frisky also used to come and sleep on our bed. My Russian Samoyed used to sleep on my bed. And suddenly one morning, my husband got up and it's a squeal, and he said, "My bed is wet." And Frisky had given pups on our bed. And it was not one, and I'd never had a dog whelping or delivering pups in front of me. So I kept seeing these mousy little things coming out one after the other, and 9 of them on our bed. And it was winters in January, we had to move out of our bedroom because this dog had given pups, and my husband became the laughing stock of Agra because they said, first, you got this crazy wife from Bombay, and then she's pushed you out of the bedroom because it's too cold. Now she's given pups. We can't let her come out of that bedroom because anyway we have to throw away the mattresses. So she continued staying there for a month till her pups were old enough. And then I'd had a book of, an encyclopedia on dogs. And then I read, we have to give her warm milk and things like that. So it's a great journey, with lovely experiences and crazy anecdotes. I don't remember them all. If I had the skill to write, I would have probably written a little storybook about my experiences with animals and birds.
Absolutely. Someday we'll make that happen. Now, what are some of the lesser known challenges camels face in Rajasthan, especially those used for tourism or labor?
See, firstly, camels have padded, hoofs, and they're supposed to be walking on sand and surfaces and not on tarred roads. And that's what we are using them now for. The climate is changing in Rajasthan. The wet climate now, you don't feel you're in Rajasthan. We've had some great monsoons, and we've been having it for the last few years. So it's bad. And they do use them for, entertainment and for, making them jump and do shows like, it's not fair because they don't have legs for, standing on their two and squeak and to. So these are terrible challenges, using them for entertaining them, making them run camel cart races. It's not for them to get into races and stuff. Now they kind of, because the camel owners can't, so they are illegally being exported to neighboring countries, to Saudi Arabia, for camel skin, for camel meat, for slaughter. And it's all being done illegally. You see them on Bihar. The camel owners say, what do we do? Because nobody, we don't. And there are people, so even camel milk, to make it sustainable, because they say it's very good for autistic children. It's been proven medically. So there are people like this lady, Elsa, who's a German lady who's been working with camel for more than 35 years in Jaipur, in a place called Sadri village. She's a lovely, and she's doing great work with Raika tribes in this.
But we don't believe in using animal products. So, but she says it's the only way to make it sustainable, because if camels die, you can use the skin for rugs and stuff like that. But we don't encourage, at least in our organization and we as a rule, because once you say, then people, even start using it wrong.
Yes.
So we believe, I believe we've also introduced merchandise like on Ram Pyari's name, so we make sure it's not in silk. We are not using any animal products, to kind of any kind of which causes cruelty to any sort of an animal. And if you're working for it, you have to. My family is 50% of my family is vegan. We're all vegetarians, and not that I'm asking the world to be different. Everyone is free to be what they are, but I feel you have to be sensitive to. And if you're advocating about something, you're promoting something, then you live, walk the talk.
3 weeks back, I'm just going to take it a bit off sort of thing. 3 weeks back, I interviewed Dr. Andrew Knight from UK. He's a double doctorate, and he is a strong advocate of vegan. Not only that, he has documented everything. There are so much of documents which he's been sharing with me, that even when you feed your animals, if you feed them vegan food, you increase their lifespan by 1.5 times, and the human life goes about 2.5 times. And this is not just out of any mouth. It is proven, and he has also proven, he has records, it's been published in journals, that even your dog, even if it's your pet dog, you serve him vegan food, his palatability and his likability and a lot of other things are tested. He has tested them on 10 parameters, and it is all proven and documented. So,
Wow.
And honestly, I was really moved. And, when you meet people and you hear all things like this, because I'll be honest, I've been a vegetarian for almost more than 35, 40 years. I think it's been about 37 years. But when we were getting our first baby home, the first dog, me and my wife, we were, debating, because in our house, there's no eggs, no chicken. We've never, it's been ages that we stopped. And we were debating that we're bringing him home. How would we, work with it? And we decided we'll try and do vegetarian with him. And our first visit to the vet, started not cursing, but she was like, hey, these are carnivores. You need to feed them with meat and everything. And honestly, we had to give in, because, it is something for the well-being of the kid. But today, now, after hearing this guy 2 weeks back, and he's been I've been trying to work with him closely on a lot of things, because he says there is a transition that you need to transition them naturally. You just can't shift them overnight. There is a process. And the other thing that he said, a lot of issues like skin issues and health issues, gut issues with these animals, they just go away. They just automatically vanish if you start switching them to a vegan diet. And because he works with a lot of, in UK, he's one of the most strongest advocate, and he's got the UK government and a lot of other people to switch and, agree to it. And because there are documents. And he, I was telling him we need to bring him down to India to talk to all the vets in India, because I think most of the vets in India have this notion that dogs, your pet animal need to be fed with meat. So I think after speaking to him, it has changed my perception.
I agree with him 100%, because I was born in a vegetarian home, and our home is vegetarian. The only thing, because my one daughter-in-law and my one son has eggs, so we bring them from the hotel. but we don't cook them now at home. We did earlier for them, but my son, who's a vegan, the other youngest son, he says that since our house is alcohol-free, cigarette-free, meat-free, we used to have serve wine, but my oldest son does a lot of vipassana meditation, and he believes that, if we don't eat, then why do we need to serve it at home? We can always entertain outside. So just to keep the harmony, because when you're living with the family and everyone wants to live together, you have to make a few little adjustments. And I feel it's not that, that he's told us to do something like, in fact, he's saving us from better health, habits. And we all, my husband and most of us don't wear leather. We don't buy leather goods, whatever I had in the past, maybe 1 or 2 pairs of shoes, which I like, which I use once in a while, because since I have them, I don't want to be, hypocritical and discard them. But I have not bought one for 15 years or something. And I used to love buying them earlier, until, I realized what veganism was. And proud to be, and it's good. I would love to read about this gentleman who you interviewed in the UK. And I'd love to share the document with my husband, because he's a lot into alternative diet. And he actually also did an online Cornell course for veganism or nutrition. And a lot of people said, oh, if you don't have dairy, how will you get protein? How will you do this? But everything is available through vegetables and other stuff. And my dogs have always been vegetarians. So I do sometimes get that food, but, either we used to give them khichdi or roti, but they're not vegan. I do give them sometimes dahi or stuff, because again, my friends, they have soy milk and soy dahi and soy. But to be honest, I'm not 100% vegan. I do have my dahi. And also I once in a while would like, like a piece of pizza or something. So, but I'm not guilty about that. I like my tea with my milk and have only 1 cup in a day. But it's okay, because I feel as much as I can do, and that is it. But my son and my daughter-in-law and my husband are very strict vegans. Very, very strict.
I will send you...
And my husband used to eat everything before that, like, which was the funniest. So this happened about 10, 12 years ago.
I'll share all the links to everything with Natasha, and then you'll have it. For Dr. Andrew Knight's, all his documentation, everything. I'll be more than happy to share it. Now, yes. Have you witnessed a rescue camel transformation from near death to thriving? And what did that teach you about resilience? I know you mentioned about the 14 pups, but is there a case where, there is a camel?
We had this camel, Rani. Rani was, Natasha, what had...
Rescued from a circus.
Yeah, was rescued from a circus. And she's there with us in Bassi, healthy and happy. And she's the star of our Bassi center. So Rani was rescued from this, she was like a skeleton when she'd come. Now she's a healthy and a friendly camel, because camels can also be quite vicious at times.
And she loves photographs.
She loves to be photographed.
Yeah.
We'll share a couple of pictures of Rani with you. I'll ask Natasha.
I will share.
Please do share. I'll be more than happy to, promote Rani as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Brand ambassador of Bassi. Rani.
Absolutely. We'll do that.
So you must hear this. We had a bull,
Raja.
He was a bovine bull called Raja. And he was huge. He must be a few 100 kilos, And he was again one of the star residents of our Help and Suffering campus. And I was on a holiday, we were in Khajuraho, and I get a call, and I told them, don't disturb me until something urgent. And I get a call on the 31st morning saying that Raja has been stolen. Now, you can imagine a pup being stolen, a kitten being stolen, a parrot being stolen. But he was the largest animal we had in our campus. So I said, how can Raja be stolen? And I said, somebody's played dirty in the campus and somebody's defected, and because when he walks out of the gate, there's guards out there. But somebody had come from, from these people had come with 10, 15 goats, and and so they stayed the night there for the treatment of the goats, some vaccination and deworming and stuff. And sometimes we let them put a charpai outside and slept. And from the Nala, there was an exit, and they pushed him through the Nala because they thought they'll sell him a huge amount of meat, money they'll get, and they went and sold it. So I called from Khajuraho and I told them, I don't care, a lot of people will be sacked if you don't find. So my staff who would work with the equines at time, they knew, how this whole business goes. And then they found out he was being taken. They caught him before he was being transported to another area, was being sold. And we brought him back. So, the same staff, because, and he was terrorized because he was taken from the back gate right into that Nala down to, must have, was these owners, these guys who owned the goats had stolen him in fact. But we managed to retrieve him back, which was fantastic.
Absolutely. These are inspiring stories, honestly. Now, how can awareness campaign be designed so they don't just evoke pity, but actually change behavior long term?
I think, we need a good advertising mind. You could help us with that. But yes, it should not be. I think anything with pity really doesn't work. It has to be with compassion and, with kind of a stable mind that how you kind of, taking a positive approach. And you need it to be maybe effective by a good visual where the eyes of the animal emote all the emotions. And, and that should arouse, that make people do things out of compassion. And, and so, it's so funny I'm talking about it since we have donors some from Europe, like one or two from France and Switzerland. Then we have mostly UK or Australia. And believe you and me and the US. Now we've got ourselves registered in the US. The US people want to see only happy pictures of animals. Whereas the French people, the uglier the picture is, the more generous they will be. So even when I went to one of our mother organization, who was our big donors now, of course, not because there's a new president and, new people come with new. I saw these beautiful dogs in their shelter. Lovely pedigree dogs, the choices of breeds which I'd never seen. And so Janine, our president of that organization, told me, she said to me, people want to only adopt dogs or cats who are actually blind or, have a broken limb or are really, unwell and, disfigured. Nobody wants to adopt healthy dogs. Whereas in our country, when people say, oh, you got to help it, can you get me a Labrador? I said, no, we don't keep Labrador. Take our indie pups. And in the US, they don't want to see sad pictures. They want to see only happy pictures. So how country-specific people are so different, cultures make such a huge. So Janine used to tell me sometimes I feel I need to break legs of some of these, as for and humor, to get them adopted. Because finally what happens, they euthanize them in those countries,
Yes.
And they can't keep them. I know a friend of mine who'd adopted 2 cats in New York. She said to me, in New York, at least in a shelter in Rye, this part of New York itself, 50 cats are euthanized every day.
Jeez.
Or every week or something. So, healthy cats. So, that's what, so when people would say that, why don't you put them down? And I remember one of our international donors once wrote to me that I believe we do not allow unhealthy animals also to be euthanized. I said, please don't tell us in our country what we need to do with the animals, because we do not believe in killing or culling animals unnecessarily, and that is it. Though I did reach a stage where I felt it was suffering too much, but still it takes me a huge amount of, speculation before I would do that. I've done it to a couple of my own dogs, but not so much at the shelter. We do not want to encourage it, because then you don't know, unless it's really suffering and there are 3 or 4 wets, but we avoid it.
Absolutely. Now, you've been a part of both grassroots protests and high-level policy discussions. Which do you think has more power to end cruelty, and why?
So, see, grassroots is very important, because, whatever you do in boardrooms, it's great discussion. You have a lot of intellectual people talking. But the policies have to reach the grassroots. And unfortunately, after they've had these boardroom discussions, the policies cannot reach the grassroots unless the people who are handling, policy makers have to kind of sensitize the governments, the securities, the police, all the forces, whether the municipality. If you do not sensitize them, how are they going to implement those policies? Policies are made, but a lot of it is not. So that is why it has to be both together. That's the best way to do it. You can't do one without the other, but definitely grassroots is extremely, extremely important, I feel. Policies for larger things like dairy and all, but nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to have debates on it. No discussions are done about, slaughterhouses or this thing. We talk about cows being, our mother, but we do the maximum export of cow meat, leather, especially, which are milking cows, because the Arabian countries find the milk much juicier. Nobody wants to talk about it. No? It's very unfortunate.
It is.
If you want to push under the carpet, it's pushed. So that is why, I don't know, policies are made, but I don't know whether they're really implemented.
Absolutely. You said the right thing. Now, if animal protection laws were rewritten today, what would be your top 3 non-negotiable inclusions?
I feel most importantly, one is that there should be no use of animals for entertainment completely, and also there should be no zoos in our country, because they are the most deplorable. It's pathetic to have zoos. I'd rather those poor animals were euthanized than left in the conditions we have. Because unfortunately, the zookeepers are not educated how to look after the animals. Thirdly, all these beautiful parks where you have tigers, safaris, and I would really kind of put an end to a lot of them, because it's like a circus. The poor animals are so badly harassed by the jeeps. There are no laws followed on how much to talk, how the honking tape is, what speed the animals, and how many jeeps are allowed. The more powerful you are, and it's sad. The people who can't pay much do not get the best areas to go for sightings. And if I go for a safari and I don't see a tiger, I feel very happy. Thank God he's safe somewhere and not being exposed to the circus of humans. We are the ones who kind of make a spectacle of us. I would only allow certain amount of jeeps. Never mind. Why do we have to make a, and look, we've occupied, and the sad thing, Anil, is the people who are the board members of the wildlife societies and the tiger reserves are the perpetrators. They're the ones who build their hotels or their bungalows in the periphery or almost in the campus. And they are the lawbreakers. But who's to say anything to them? It's the power. So it's very sad. And I don't want that sort of power where kind of I become privileged and I, do break all the laws.
Absolutely. I'm not going to get into that debate with you, with power corrupts people. Absolutely. I'm not going to get into that. This is something off the hand. Now, this work can be emotionally exhausting that what you do. How do you keep compassion alive without burning out?
So there are days when you get exasperated, but I think it gives me a lot more energy. So it's not that we don't have bad days, but I don't think I could do anything else because it just makes me happy. Even that twinkle in the animals when they wag their tail or whatever little. I can't see suffering, but I wouldn't do anything. I'm not good. I'm going to be honest, there are good days and bad days, but I think this is what I've come onto this planet for. And I wouldn't do, even if somebody else may not be the managing trustee, I want to hand it over, but I would love to be, by the fundraise or do whatever. So my children, my boys are always scared my mother's going to leave all her, not that I've got so much of wealth, but for the animals. So I said, yes, I would, because I've given you all the best education. You are wonderful wives. You can earn yourself. You are very capable. So why should I leave it for you all? I'd rather give it to somebody or something which will be more useful. And I want to do it while I'm living, Anil. I don't want to kind of say, okay, when I die, whatever I can do today, I want to do it now. I'm not going to wait till I die. That who's to see what's going to happen after I die.
Absolutely.
So I feel what needs to be done has to be today and now, and whatever you can do, whether it's small or big, it should be done now.
Absolutely. Now, looking back, is there a moment when you thought you might give up, and what pulled you back in?
So I did step down as a managing trustee for a couple of years. Just, I think, was it before COVID? Oh, yeah. And I decided, it was before COVID, a couple of years. I decided that I will, 2016, 17 or something, or 15. I just thought that I'll get new people to bring new energy and let me continue being a trustee, but not heading the organization. But somehow it didn't work in the favor of the organization because a lot of people need the power more than so I was pulled back into the organization. And I'm happy I came back with new energy, and I think it's meant to come back and continue doing. But now I'm looking for younger people because I feel it's nice, young or energetic enough, so that I think succession plan is very important for anything to carry on. You can't hang on to things. I will continue working for animals, but maybe as a guide or fundraiser or whatever. But the rest, we need somebody with concern.
Absolutely. Now, coming to my last question for the show. If a young person listening wants to dedicate their life to protecting animals, what's the single most important mindset or skill they should start building today?
I think they should follow their heart, because there's no hard and fast rule for any one individual. Most important is to be honest to your commitment to yourself. If you're honest to yourself, you're honest to anything you do. And I think honesty to your own mission or vision or whatever is most important. So that is it, I feel.
To me, first of all, this is where I come to the end, where I leave an open mic for the guest to speak their heart out if they want to do a fundraise or, for their organization or a project that is closer to their heart where they need support. This is where I leave the mic open for the guest. So please, the floor is yours now. If you want to make an appeal or you want to say something, please.
Yes. So yes, we want you to, first and foremost, we want you to come and visit. If you come to Jaipur, do come and visit Help in Suffering, because your visit is going to be very motivating and encouraging for our team, because a lot of our staff work with a lot of challenges, picking up dogs from streets and, in different VRs of, whether it's raining or it's hot. And it's great. And please come, and we are constantly looking for people for fundraising or any kind of support you can extend to us. Would you like to help us fundraise in small ways, or would you like to come and do, or would you like to come and do some volunteering, for us, or would you help us with adoptions? Any help is larger than life for us. It's not always cash kind, everything is welcome. And believe you me, if your visit is going to be really encouraging for our team. So do come and volunteer, do come and spend a few days, live with the animals. We need veterinary doctors, we need non-vet volunteers, need caregivers. Any sort of volunteering is very, very welcome in our organization.
Timmie,
love it.
No, please go ahead, please.
And so we'd love to have you with us in Jaipur. So please come visit us.
Please.
And you should come and visit us, Adil.
I am definitely. I'm going to talk to you about that bit. Thank you so much, Timmie, for taking the time out from your busy schedule to be on the show. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anil. It's been wonderful chatting with you. I don't know, of course, with all the great people you've interviewed, but I just believe in speaking from my heart. So that's how I am. And great. Hope to see you sometime and stay in touch.
Absolutely.
Much love and best wishes.
Thank you so much.